So I want to play the audio of CNBC yesterday. And what CNBC said about Ted Cruz. They're calling the jobs numbers now Cruz numbers. They're blaming now a lackluster number in job creation. They're blaming that on Ted Cruz. Can we think about how the lack of responsibility and personal responsibility, can we just think about the lack of personal responsibility here? This president has never taken responsibility for anything a day in his life, including his own life. You know what? Let me go this far. Including his own dreams. The man doesn't even have his own dreams. They're the dreams from my father. They're not even his dreams. So the man can't even dream himself. Let alone take responsibility for anything in this economy. And so now they're blaming the job numbers on Ted Cruz in the most ridiculous thing. And you know what? A lot of people will believe this. A lot of people will believe this. Why are they so afraid of Ted Cruz? Because you just don't spend this kind of time and money. I mean, do we spend any time on Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is a full-fledged communist. Do we spend any time on him?
No.
We spend no time on him.
None.
That guy is, I mean, did we spend any time? There are a lot of people. I mean, who's more left than Bernie Sanders in Congress? Who's more open about it? Who's more full-fledged, dedicated to it? He's so dedicated to it, he's open about it. He's painted himself no place to go.
And that's great.
It's great.
That's why we don't have much of a problem with him.
Yeah, but you don't spend any time with him because he's not going to make an impact. Do we spend really a lot of time with people, except to make fun of them? Sometimes we will spend some time. You know, Maxine Waters is hysterical. But do we spend any time really on people that are not important, that aren't making some sort of an impact? Unless it's for laughs, no. You don't spend your time, your treasure, to take apart somebody that isn't making an impact. They are terrified of Ted Cruz. Terrified. Because every Saul Alinsky tactic is coming out. Every single one. I mean, remember, we had a white Hispanic. When it was the bad guy. He was a white guy. What is Ted Cruz? He's a white guy. He's a white guy. He's not Cuban. In fact, CNBC can't even get his Cuban heritage straight. For some reason, they said this yesterday.
I'm going to call this the Senator Ted Cruz jobs report. Today,
I said that.
And the jobless claims of Senator Ted Cruz.
Do you remember how many times...
There he is.
Can we
get some music to go along with that? Some Mexican music maybe? Or something?
Leisman, if we had had...
Oh, my goodness.
Can we get some Mexican music? What does that mean? What does that mean? You calling him a bean eater? Is that what you're saying? If
you would say about the president, can we get some African music to play when we talk about him?
Could we get some African music? I'm
not sure you'd be on the air the next day.
I know you would not be on the air the next day. You would not be on the air the next day. You can't even say a chink in the armor and be on the air.
Yeah.
You can't even say that. These guys can say, can we get some Mexican music? First of all, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, he's not even Mexican.
He's not Mexican. You want to call him something? You call him American or maybe Canadian if you want to go down the birth certificate road. What does that mean? What does that mean? He's Mexican. Is that a slam on Mexico? What a racist statement that is.
Racist and bizarre.
Just no. Just because he speaks Spanish, I guess everybody's from Mexico. I guess that's what it is. How about some Cuban music? Hey, I know. Why don't you call him Ricky Ricardo? Could we get away with calling him Ricky Ricardo? Hey, let's call him Ricky Lucy. Could we do that? Would we do that? If the guy had a different opinion and I said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do, would I get away with it? Absolutely not. You know, let's just go down the road of crimes perpetrated by NBC. NBC, they're the ones that edited the tape making what's his name? George Zimmerman out to be a racist. They edited the tape to make him a racist. What are the other things that NBC and MSNBC has done?
NBC edited the tape of
Mitt
Romney during the Wawa speech. Yeah. And made him look like a buffoon.
Just the other day, Ed Schultz ran a segment about a Jewish person, Wolf Blitzer, in which he made Nazi references throughout to try to paint him in a bad light.
Actually called the segment Blitzerkrieg.
Mm-hmm.
They're also the company that has hired Al Sharpton. I mean, please help us. Would you start tweeting NBC hashtag NBC race crimes? Seriously, NBC hashtag NBC race crimes. I'd really like to see, because I contend NBC has turned into long past Pravda. Now they're into race hate. Who else can get away with that? Who else besides NBC can get away with that kind of race hate?
Also, who else other than MSNBC would want to?
Yeah, no one else
is desiring to go down that road. They seem to do it.